welcome to the Hard Rocket Sports Studios and another edition of the weekly video recap. And welcome to, and that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 3-hour weekly get-together. We bring you all, I'm sorry, it's only 2 hours. We bring all the biggest news around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. Thank you very much for tuning in, folks. And it's Thursday night, October the 10th, in the year of our good Lord 2024. And we welcome you all here. And we want to send out our good thoughts and prayers to all of those affected by the 2 hurricanes in Florida, both Helene from a week or so ago and last night's Milton. We hope that Florida and its residents recover quickly. And for those directly impacted, our hearts go out to you. And please support all of the great organizations that are doing yeoman's work out there. Cajun Navy, and to name there's a bunch. Please look them up, do your research, and give to the right ones, and make sure we support our brothers and sisters in the state of Florida. So, again, our prayers to everybody out there. We hope you're doing okay. We seem to, I think I saw online pretty much most of the people that I know down there. So I'm happy to say that I think most of my peeps are okay, but listen, like I said, check in on everybody, and let's make sure we're okay. We'll get past the partisan politics, and we're all brothers and sisters. So let's look out for everybody. But guys, welcome to Thursday night, and we got a couple hours here. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay. I got a big day tomorrow and lots to do tonight, but I'm going to get some stuff in. Lots to talk about tonight. Jets fire Coach Saleh almost out of nowhere. A lot of intrigue behind it. We'll talk about the Giants' big win on the road, Mets' big win at home, clinching the division series against the hated Philadelphia Phillies. They're on to a championship series, figuring out where. West Coast somewhere, but where? Yankees' big game for tonight in Kansas City, so hopefully they get a win and we move on. The NHL's back, big opening night win by the Rangers. Talk a little about the Met fans themselves. Lots of Giants and Jets talk, some NFL news, and anything else I can dredge up in the next couple of hours. I do want to kick it off. Jeff's not here, so let me kick into some. Let me talk about some big politics. First of all, folks, you really got to do your homework. I have been trying not to press one way or the other, but I have to tell you how ridiculous the Democrats are, and you have to do your homework and figure it out. Whether they're only giving $750 or there's a few dollars more, the consensus is the Biden administration did not step up to the plate regarding Helene. This is just it, and there are still people hurting out there, and they acted late. They should have done what Governor DeSantis, how he handled Milton, and he was prepared. And even though the storm, thankfully the storm wasn't as bad as they predicted, it still had a big impact. But he was ready to go, and our government, and again, it's not the role of the government to get these things right, but they have to be there and be ready. And folks, I have to tell you, you really got to do your homework. I mean, Mayorkas, the head of the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, comes out October 2nd and says, hey, we don't have enough money. We don't have enough money in the FEMA budget for any other hurricanes this year. we need Congress to come back and give us more money. They're out of money, right? So, okay, shit, stuff happens. Maybe it turns out they find out that they were giving money to undocumented migrants. They gave $1 billion and they funneled it out of FEMA accounts. Now you could tell me it was, well, FEMA budget has 55 different accounts. It's still FEMA budget. You shouldn't have been giving away money from federal emergency management that you could possibly need. And then to come out now later on and say, hey, it's misinformation. We did, none of that's true. It is absolutely true. It is documented. If you YouTube it, you'll find where they were on TV talking about it, where they were talking about how they were giving money out of that fund and this and that. And Mayorkas came out and said they didn't have enough money. And now he said, oh, no, I'm sorry. We do have enough money. From where? So it's political cover. Please, folks. Then he's out there saying that, and Harris is tweeting. It's a tweet. You can see it. It's all over. They completely acknowledge. She tweeted out that the Biden administration sent $157 million to Lebanon because she was worried about the civilians in Lebanon. Now, listen, we all should worry about the civilians in Lebanon. And what's going on in the Middle East is a disgrace. But that $157 million that went there, if it's needed, and you can't tell me that the people of North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, parts of Florida can't use that money right now. And while I'm all for helping out and being, the good guy around the world, that money should have been here. And that's the problem with those people on the left. That is the problem. It is not America first. It needs to be America first, not America only. It needs to be America first. It has to be the people here need to get taken care of first. And when we're struggling to take care of 2 hurricanes that hit our region, especially the people in the Appalachians, they are weeks away from getting water and power. Their homes are destroyed. They have no roads. They sent in the army a week late. It was mismanaged. Okay, no problem. But don't compound it by throwing out, well, this is all misinformation. It's not misinformation, folks. Harris went on TV and said we have $750 for people. She never once said, hey, there's more than that. I'm sorry. And there's documented case of people who applied for the $750 and were told, I'm sorry, even though you lost everything, you're only qualified for $300. It is documented. Do your homework. These people are bad people. I'm not telling you Trump's a great guy. I'm not telling you the Republicans are great guys. I'm just telling you that the people in office have done a horrendous job. They you should have no confidence whatsoever in these people. What's up, Gumati? And at the end of the day, were you better 4 years ago than you are today? And the answer is yes. And I could give you the litany of reasons why. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have to look up and say that. But just look at the way they're handling things. Just look at the way things go right now. We have migrants who walk out the door, no questions asked. They hand them $5,000 credit cards. $5,000. We got people suffering in North Carolina. They got to beg for $750. Folks, are we kidding ourselves? This is who we want handling our government. They flip-flop. She can't answer a question. Let's call it what it is. She was given softball interviews this week, and she can't handle the interviews. They asked her twice. She got asked on The View and on Colbert. You're part of the Biden administration. Would you do anything different? And she said, no, we were perfect. No, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, you don't say, I would have dealt better with inflation. We would have did better on the border. No, we did it perfect. Folks, please, dear God in heaven, speak to people. Talk to your friends and family. Convince them to do their homework. That's all. Don't do it. I get told tired of hearing, oh, Trump's a bad guy. Who cares? You think Biden's a good guy? He's out there selling his influence all over the world. His kids out there, making money off his name with him collecting. He's a good guy. You think Kamala Harris is a good person? No, they're all ass. Who cares? I want the best person. I want the best policies. I don't care about the person anymore. I want the best policies. I want a closed border. I want low taxes. I want to worry about America first and everybody else second. Not to say we can't help, not to say we can't protect. We need to be America first, not America only, America first. And until we do that, we are going to keep going down. Just look at this mayor that we got in New York City. We keep voting Democrat. Look what we got. It's corruption everywhere. The guy's got 5 investigations on him. Everybody around him is being arrested, having stuff confiscated. Folks, wake up. The left is crooked. I'm tired of telling you to do your homework. I'm telling you flat out. The people, you go, oh, everybody. No, you know what? I haven't seen Donald Trump convicted of anything legit yet. I have not seen his entire administration arrested. I'm sorry. Take your time, read the papers, look it up online. It's simple to find. Do your homework. Please, dear God in heaven, do your homework. We can't do another 4 years with this person. She can't. She's not competent. I'm telling you, I think Trump's right. I think Biden's more competent. I think Biden at this point is more competent than this woman. DeSantis said it, 3.5 years. He never once heard from her when there was a hurricane or a disaster. Now all of a sudden she's picking up the phone. Now, 3.5 years, you're vice president of the United States. You didn't pick up a phone to any of these governors to say, hey, you doing okay after the disaster? Now you're doing it. Why? Because your election's 20-something days away? Folks, if you got kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, whatever, please do your homework. Pay attention. Don't base it on a popularity contest or what somebody did 40 years ago. Do it on policy. Who's got the best policies? Who is going to secure this country, secure our border? Who's going to lower our taxes and rev up the economy? Biden and Harris in 3.5 years have not done it. What makes you think she's going to do it now? So I'm sorry, I'm doing this every week. If you don't like it, don't tune in. If you don't like what I got to say, I don't care. It's too important to me not to talk about it. And if you're blind enough to just go, well, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to flip the switch, I don't really care. Well, then you know what? Then you're doing your family, your friends, and yourself a big disservice. When you go to the gas station and you look at those prices, when you go to the grocery store and you see those prices, when you try to buy a home and you see those prices and you could still walk into that booth and say, all right, after 4 years of it, I want another 4. You deserve what you get, but your problem is you're hurting everybody else. Do the homework. Pay attention to what she doesn't say, which is nothing. The woman says nothing. Trump, listen, good or bad, he'll tell you, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm having this, and I'm having that. Yes, can he say stupid things? 100%. That's who he is. Who cares? At the end of the day, I'm not voting for what he says. I'm voting for the policy. And that's what I want you all to do. Go check on the policy. That's all I'm begging for. Check the policies and say, yes, what she stands for, I can vote for it. And if you can, that's great. I can't. I cannot. So short of that, that's it. That's all I got to say. This is my 15 minutes. I appreciate you listening, and I'm looking forward to doing the show. Jeff's not here yet, but I do see my pops on. So we're going to get that on, and we'll see what he's got to say, and then we'll get the show started. It's might be interrupted a little bit early tonight, but we'll see what happens. What's up, Pop?
What's up, Tommy? How you doing?
Pops, how you feeling?
Yeah, a little tired.
I got you.
But
long day.
Long day, long night.
Yep. So what's on your mind this week?
Well, I tell you, I read the papers, I look at, and I think who owns the Jets is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
you can't tell me he had nothing to do with that firing. You could see Sunday he got mad when the coach called the timeout.
Yeah,
he made a look on his face like, "What are you doing?" This is why they got rid of him in Green Bay. He wanted to take over.
Well, note the problem is that it's always the worst part when somebody in the room says they're the smartest guy. Like when you see that guy, he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Like nobody else knows anything more than him, and that is a very bad trait for a human being. You could be the smartest guy in the room, but when you believe it and you stop listening and you think you got the best way, I got to tell you, it usually leads to what you're seeing now. And while I don't think he called up Woody Johnson and said, fire him, I definitely think he's been putting little bits into Woody's head about things. And meanwhile, I gotta be honest with you, if you're gonna blame anything on the destruction of this team, it's his play and the plays of the offense.
I
Everybody's complained
agree.
about it.
I agree.
I mean, the defense hasn't been great, but it hasn't been bad. They're losing games because I mean they have some of the worst play calling I have ever seen in my entire life. I'm watching the game and they're running plays, and I'm questioning. Now, listen, I think Saleh was a bad coach. I've told Jeff for weeks and months that he probably should be fired, and that I don't think they're ever going to win a big game with him. But firing him in the middle of a season, that doesn't make any sense. It just never leads to anything good.
He showed it on TV. He kept looking at him, giving him dirty look. I mean, you're like a little child. I mean, listen, you're making 40, 50 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the coach is no good. Coach don't win games and don't lose games. If you're going to blame the coach, you don't know anything about football, baseball, hockey. They've won 2 plays here and there. Come on. I mean,
well, listen,
the guy,
he's
I
a
hope
bad
they
coach.
break his legs when they tackle him.
Well, he's taking a beating out there. So he's taking a beating out there. His play has not been good. Louis, to your point, I think it's, if you're Rodgers, you can't now complain about it because now you're letting it out there that you were part of the mix. Yeah, I don't know how they do it from this point on. And you're right. Listen, I've never been a Rodgers fan as far as a human being. I think he was in his prime, and even a few years ago, he was a great quarterback. Probably the kind of guy you want quarterback your team. He moves well enough, threw the ball well, very smart quarterback. First ballot Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter, but as a human being, I think he's a piece of crap.
Yeah, Tommy, you know what I go by him? If you saw the game Sunday,
I did.
When he went off the field, he limped. He needed a wheelchair to get off the field. Okay, they called a 15-yard penalty against roughing the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
He came running out of there like he just found the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
So he's full of sugar, or
I don't know. You know what? And Louis, I know the Ulbrich has said that he was going to take a listen to it, and one of the things that came out of this whole thing was that they talked about that Saleh had reached out and said that he was going to demote him or possibly fire him, but I think he was going to demote him and have this guy Todd Downing calling plays. Yeah. And I don't think it really matters because it's still Aaron Rodgers behind the ball, and he's not playing well. He has the ability, I guess, and now maybe it changes, to change or call the plays as he sees it. I don't know. There's a disconnect on that team offensively. The play, they can't run the ball. The offensive line's not blocking. Wilson and Rodgers have not been on the same page all year. So, and Frankie, to your point, yeah, they're not a good team right now. This Jet team is not a good team. Now, maybe this is the spark and changing play caller and it solves the problem. I don't think so. I think the offensive line's bad. I think there's an ugly locker room right now. I think Rodgers is kind of getting himself to the point where he is not able to mix with these young kids anymore. If you ask me that, I think he's not on the same page with these young kids, and there's no chemistry. So
you don't take one. Hockey is like baseball. Mm-hmm. One guy doesn't make a team.
Right.
Okay. Maybe you could get away with it in basketball because of the 5-man play.
Yeah.
But he just comes off to me that, he walks to that line, he looks around, he thinks he's 20 years old.
Yeah, well,
and he's not, and he's not that great of a ball player. And if he was, why is he walking around with one stinking ring?
Yeah, no, listen, listen, there was a stat put up today that he hasn't thrown for 300 yards in a game since I think it's November or December of 2021. So obviously missed all of last year, but he looks like a 40-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in 2 years. Now, again, maybe at some point, and Jeff, no worries, do what you can. We will be here waiting for you. maybe they get their footing. It's only 5 games in. Maybe they go on a run. But right now, this team is a bad team. And locking arms and having each other's back, all those cliche things that just interim coaches talking about means crap. They have to play better. They have to block better. They have to catch better. He's got to throw the ball better. And even on defense, as good as the defense is, they're not a shutdown top 5 team. So right now, this is a bad football team. So, they're in a bad division. There's 2 teams that are bad teams, Miami and New England, and I'm not sure what Buffalo is. So they can right the ship. The problem is, I think if you don't win the division, there might not be a wild card out of the NFC East, AFC East, excuse me. So, this is an uphill battle. I don't think that Rodgers is extremely well liked by some of the players on that team. And let's see what the play calling changes this week. I mean, it's a big game Monday night. This thing never works. Changing coaches in the middle of the year, especially to bring in a guy who's never been a head coach. It's a tough move, Dad. What do you think about the Yankees tonight?
It looks, I'll say it now and I'll say it till the end. I play a team of angels before I want to play the Mets. They got it. They, no matter what they do, comes out right.
Listen,
There's no superstar. The only guy that got even close to a superstar is the shortstop.
Yeah, Lindor's.
Other than that, they're playing games. They're winning games that normally you lose, and no matter what you do. Now, we don't know what's going to happen if they play 4 games instead of 3.
Yep. No, listen. You can't. You can't play for the 3-run, 4-run homer all the time. I mean, you can't get yourself into a bind where you're constantly in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, and you're losing, and you need a big 3-run homer to get it. It's great. It's happened, and for the last 2 weeks, it's been miracle Mets. I mean, the Atlanta series, the Atlanta makeup games, the Milwaukee series, and now this Philadelphia series. If you're a fan, you couldn't write it up any better. But that's a fairy tale. Can that continue? We'll see. I mean, like you said, somebody asked me yesterday, what do I think? I would say if I was a baseball team, I would not want to be playing the New York Mets right now.
Not at all.
Because they're winning games they just should not be winning. They should not. They should not win these games.
Not consecutively like they're doing.
No, exactly.
You see one game, guy, shortstop hits 2 home runs. You see that every now and then. Yeah. But now you're seeing them everywhere they play.
Yeah.
They're winning games in the 8th and 9th inning.
Yeah, no.
They shouldn't.
Nope, 100%.
God bless them, they are.
Hey, it's great for New York. It's great for Met fans. They started. Now, I'll say this. No, Frankie, they do, but you scored 4 runs last night on 1 at bat. I mean, you had bases loaded before. So while I agree with you, it's a 3-run homer to win 5-3. It's a 3-run homer to win. It's a grand slam to win 4-1. It's not like you're killing the ball through the lineup and you got 4 guys with 2 RBIs each. That's not what you're seeing. But again, go win baseball games any way you can. It's miracle baseball and it's fine. But this isn't a team that's running over people. They've had maybe 1 or 2 games in the last couple of weeks where you'd say they just went out to kick the crap out of somebody. Most of their wins have been miracle finishes. Down 2-1 in the 8th, down 3-1 in the 9th, and they get a 3-run homer, and next thing you know, you win the game.
But Tommy, it's every night you're sitting down, they're losing 2-0. You go up, you go to the bathroom, you come back in, they're winning 6-4.
No.
I'm
with you. No. Listen, I wouldn't. Listen, I don't care how you win. You go out and win.
You win.
100%. All I'm saying is, it's at some point luck runs out. You just need to be at some point better than everybody else. And you're winning games, so you are. But sometimes you got to go out there and score 8 runs and look up, and you're up 8-3. Sometimes you got to look up and you're winning. You're putting 2 in the first and 2 in the fourth and 1 in the fifth. Not I'm slaving it up for 1 big inning. That doesn't happen enough times. But listen, I'm not going to knock it. Keep winning, and it doesn't matter how you get there. So We'll see, but so they got
See
a
what
couple
happens.
days off. Yeah, they have a good couple of days off. They come back next week.
They play. The Yankees play tonight.
Yeah, so yeah, big Cole's pitcher tonight, and they got to win. I mean, let's not play games. Go out and beat this team. You can't. And the actually the opposite. You just they can't score runs. I don't care who it is. Last night, thank God for Stanton woke up for a change. But the Yankees don't win unless Judge starts to.
Judge and Soto.
Well, yeah, especially
He's been
Judge.
hitting and walking though.
Judge
They're
is
not doing
not
nothing behind him.
right. Soto's getting on base. Torres is getting on base. But Judge is walking out. He's just, that's it. Yeah, Frankie, he's trying to get on. He's here now. I'm gonna see if we get him on.
Tommy, let me go.
Yeah, Pops, go do your thing.
Have a good weekend.
you,
Call me
Pops.
when you get back.
I will talk to you. I will give you a call.
I
tomorrow.
love you. Have a
Love
good
you too.
time.
Thanks, Pops. All right, that's my dad. Jeff's trying to get on, but there seems to be. I'm going to put him back on hold. He's having a hard time getting in. All right, Dad. Okay, so yeah, guys, so it's me and you until Jeff figures it out. In the meantime, we're Hard Rocket Sports again. Remember, folks, November 5th. That's all. Do your homework. Do your homework. Check the policies or the lack thereof. Big games. Again, there he is. I think he's up. So let's get him on while he's there. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, man? I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this computer.
Stuff happens.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You're good with here. You hear me? You froze, Jeff. Hefe. Jeff. Guys, are you hearing me? Frankie Catalano, you hear me clear out there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me?
I can see you and I can hear you. Yes.
All right. I'm here. I don't know what's going on with this fucking computer.
Yeah, you're a little delayed. Yeah, you're kind of freezing up.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
You want to try to reboot and try it again, or you did that already?
I don't even want, because I don't know. I guess you can't hear me.
I can hear you, but like you're kind of stuttering.
Wow.
Yeah, you're kind of stuttering. Why don't you try it again? Why don't you try to come back again? Try one more time.
I know.
All right, try one more time.
I don't even want to try to start over again. I'm gonna shut down and try over again.
Try one more time. Give it a shot. Let's try. All right. So Jeff's working on his end. Let's see. So what do we want to talk about? Let's see. I'll hold the Jet stuff till Jeff gets on, so I don't have to double up on that, because I know that's going to be near and dear to his heart. Let's talk. Okay, let's talk Yankee baseball. Right now, Dodger series is 2-2. I think that game's probably Friday night. I think the Mets series starts on Monday, where I guess they would be on the road to open that up. Yeah, exactly, Frankie. Exactly. Let's see. I've got some text messages here. Hold on, folks. Sorry about that. Never a dull moment. Yeah. So there's just so you guys know, there's a Netflix is set to premiere 2025, Run to the Hills, the story of Iron Maiden on Netflix. I'm a little pumped up for Netflix to release a documentary on Iron Maiden. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. Yeah. Matt is asking me if we're on, and the answer is yes. Hold on, yes. Is everybody seeing me out there? Because for some reason Jeff's having a hard time, and Matt's asking if we're on, and we're definitely here. So hopefully everybody's seeing it. So yeah, take a look at. I'm looking forward to the Netflix documentary on Iron Maiden in 2025. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, Matt. So again, okay. So yeah, no, Matt can't seem to find me, but there's a bunch of people watching. So anyway, so the Yankee series, again, typical Yankee series. Judge, Soto, Yankees in general hit the ball all year long. They get to the playoffs, and Judge looks like he's Gleyber Torres in May. I just don't understand it. I don't know if there's such a thing as he's trying too hard. Obviously, yes, to me, he's chasing bad pitches. But it's it's a case where if he doesn't wake up, this team can't win. He's just in the middle of the lineup, and he's a big bat, and he's there, and he's it. And as good as Soto is, if Judge is not hitting, they'll pitch around Soto, and he's got a great eye. He's going to walk, but this team needs to hit. The bullpen has come around. Luke Weaver has really done a great job. Clay Holmes has been better. I'm still nervous as hell when he's in the game. Reminds me a lot of Diaz. You kind of think he's going to get the job done, but he's going to scare the hell you getting you there. The rest of the bullpen's been okay. Starting pitching has not been great. Cole was okay. Rodon was good for an inning or two, and then he disappeared. Schmidt was good for about 5 innings last night, and then a couple of runs. But again, if you go 5 innings in a playoff game, give up two legit runs, you got to live with that. So but the bottom line is this lineup's got to hit. Jazz Chisholm's got to hit. Volpe's got to hit. But Judge has got to hit. And Wells has got to find that bat that he had a couple months ago. So, but this is typical Yankees. This is why people say all the time, Jeff's got computer issues, Matt. So this is why I always say when people say, the Yankees are going to win a World Series, they're the best team in baseball. They might be, but it doesn't matter. It's not what you do in May, June, and July that matters anymore. It's October, and that's it. You get here. What you did back then doesn't matter. And this team is built that way. Stanton, great job last night. I can't wait for them to get rid of the guy. I can't watch him hit ground balls to second and jog to first. I can't see him hit laser beams into the right field, center field gap and wind up with a single. This is a guy who's supposed to be this monster physical specimen of a man. He can't run 90 feet without blowing out a hamstring or an oblique. So, I'm not excited about the Yankees. They win. I'm a happy camper. I'm going to watch, but I don't like it. If I'm anybody right now, San Diego and the Mets are the two teams I would be fearful to watch. But right now, the Mets got the juice. It's like the Angels. Somebody's got the Angel in the outfield. Somebody got the Juju. No, you don't pay Alonso. You cannot pay Alonso. You cannot pay him. You can pay him what you offered him, which was, a 3 or 4 year deal at $20-something million a year, just like Matt Olson got or Freeman got. You cannot give him a 7-year, $35-40 million deal. You cannot give him that because he's 30-something years old. He had a nondescript year. Yeah, I got it. He had 35 home runs. Big deal. Go do the math. Go do the checking. How many of those home runs were impactful? He came up small all year long. He's not a great first base. He's not terrible. He's not great. But think about him in 3 or 4 years on a 5, 6, 7-year deal. If you can get Alonso back on a 3-year, $25 million deal, you want to overpay him a couple bucks, I got it. But I'm not. No, I do not. I don't care what he's doing this week. I would say this. If they sign Soto, you could say goodbye to Judge because they'll move Vientos over to first base. Okay, maybe Beatty gets a shot to play third base. That's it. If they don't sign Soto for some reason, there's a chance they bring him back to appease the fans. But I would not pay him. Do not pay. Again, I think at the end of the day, if they come up short for the World Series, I think he'll take less money to stay here. And when I say less money, I mean that he really wants. He didn't go out and hire Boris so he could take the team-friendly deal. Give him the home team discount. That ain't happening. Yeah, so I think if you move Vientos to first, fine, play Maurizio, maybe give Beatty another shot at it. Lindor's obviously going to be there. I think that's the way to go. I think you're more athletic. I think you have a better team. But to me, if you think that you're going to pay this guy a 6, 7, 8 year $8 million 8-year deal and give him $30 million or better, I think you're out of your mind. Let's see if Jeff's back up and running yet. Jeff? Hefe. Jeff.
Yeah, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Yeah,
right
can
now.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You're just
Can you
kind
hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Can
You
you
can't
see
hear
me?
me? I can see you and I can hear you. Yes.
Slow
Yes.
again.
You're slow. Yeah, you're very slow.
Fucker.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it might be me, but everybody else is seeing me and hearing me. My dad and I were fine. It's something to do on your end. I don't know if your internet.
No, I know it's not you. It's the computer here.
I
think the internet user is slow. That may be it.
Well, actually, right this second, you're pretty good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
All right. Well, let's. Yeah, I'm frozen again.
Yeah, you're
Let's see
good
what
on my
happens.
end. Okay. So we're finishing up. We're talking about the Mets.
All right.
It's been a miracle. It's been a miracle couple of weeks for the Mets. Are you not hearing me, Jeff?
I gotta add something. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
But I got to say something about the Mets. I don't watch baseball. I really don't give a fuck about baseball, and I give a fuck about the Mets even less than I care about baseball, to be honest with you. Okay, but you got to give credit where credit is due. This is a team that people had dead sometime before the All-Star break, it seemed, and between them and the Padres, has anybody been playing hotter baseball than them two teams?
Yeah, no. At this point, I just said that the two teams I wouldn't want to be playing right now are the Padres and the Mets, and there's a decent chance that they're going to be playing each other starting next week. But if I'm anybody, including the Padres, I don't want to play the Mets right now. They got juju that you can't beat, no matter what the situation is. They find a way.
Do the Mets want to play the Padres? This is,
right now,
it's our team.
I agree with you, but the Mets right now feel like they can do anything they want and win a baseball game. That's it. That's where they're at right now.
Yeah, but they've also been playing pretty much nonstop since last week.
Agreed.
So
I agree with you.
Let's see what happens this week, because now they got to wait a few days.
Yeah.
Now the Dodgers Padres aren't tonight, right? They're tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow. They move back to I think they move back to LA for tomorrow, and then the Mets series, no matter what, starts on I think Monday or Tuesday.
All right, so you're talking 5-6 days.
Yeah, no. If you were the Mets, you want to play today because
momentum continue on.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree with you. They have 4 dead ex-players, so they have ghost. They have 4 dead ex-players. Not sure what that means.
I don't. What is that? Somebody saying something?
Catalano. Yeah, you can't see. You can't see any. Everybody's been worried about you. First,
like four of their players, I believe, they had 4 players that died this year. I believe ex-players.
Oh, really?
Mets. Yeah. Well, they had Cranepool died.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
A couple others ended up dying, I believe. So, hey, listen, good for them, I guess. It's a New York team, so.
No. Listen. I'm not a Met fan. I do find it funny that most Met fans came May had this team dead and buried, and Carmine, your buddy, must have at least 3 times. This team sucks. This is the worst. They're finished.
He was only being honest at the time. How could you not be honest at the time if the team that is showing what it's doing, and it wasn't showing much at that time? Yeah. So what are you going to do if they're not winning? You can't turn around and say they're a great team and they're winning.
Yep.
But listen, they were lucky enough to rebound and come back, and good for them.
Yeah. No. Listen,
I would love to see another Subway Series.
It's possible. I mean, the Yankees have to start playing better. If I were the Yankees, I would not be scared to death of playing either the Indians or the Tigers. But the way the Yankees are playing, nobody's scared of playing the Yankees right now either.
No, nobody's scared of playing the Yankees. But I'll tell you this much, and this is something you got to think about. You got the Detroit Tigers. This is a team that's been they're in the playoffs now for the first time, and God only knows how many years since what. Yep. I'm not going to say since Kirk Gibson, because he went over to Dodgers.
No. I think they were a wild card team not too long ago. I'd have to look it up, but yeah.
Well, they weren't a dominant team. I know that much for a long time.
No, they had a great second half of the season this year.
And what was that guy's name? That was he was an outfielder. and he ended up, he was in jail, and he came out of jail, and he played
Ron LaFleur.
Ron LaFleur. That's right. I thought that was the actor's name that played him in the movie.
No, actually, he was played by what's his name? What from Roots? Could see his face. I could see his face.
Lamar Burton.
Lamar Burton. That is correct. Yes. Actually, it's LeVar Burton. Right.
LeVar
Burton. Yes.
His career has gone and over with. Who knows if he's panhandling somewhere on the side of the highway somewhere, but whatever.
Yes.
Remember when he was in what was it, Star Trek, and he wore the fucking girls
yes,
thing, his glasses. But you know what? Enough of them.
Okay.
We need to start talking. We know where we need to go.
I said to everybody, I'm not talking to Jets until Jeff gets here. So
go
ahead.
But
go ahead. It's all yours.
All right. First of all, it is what it is. My sugar's going through the roof. That's a good thing. If I go down, call my wife. That means I'm in a diabetic coma. She'll have to shoot me up. I'll be all right. Anyway, this whole thing with Salah getting fired, I really don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care what Frank Catalano thinks. I don't care what Frank Jeffrey thinks. I don't care what Matt thinks. I don't care what anybody thinks. Okay. Because I care only about what I think.
What do you think?
What I think.
Go ahead.
I think, and I don't think, I know, because it was quite obvious, that Aaron Rodgers hated Robert Salah.
Okay.
And
no argument here.
I think a blind man could see that.
I don't think anybody listening or watching us right now is going to argue that point with you.
Yeah. And now it got to the point where his boy had to step away. He couldn't be doing this anymore. He couldn't be the offensive coordinator. He couldn't be calling plays. It was quite obvious that this team has a big gaping hole on the offensive side of the ball. It's more than a quarterback. It's just the complete cast of players they have over there. All right. But what I want to do is I want to back up a little bit. I want to back up to the Adam Gase days.
Do you want to go back to Adam Gase? Wow.
Yeah, just give me a second, because I got to get my material together.
Go ahead. You came prepared. I'm ready.
When Aaron Gase came on, the first year with the Jets, he went 1-7. He started off 1-7, finished 7-9. Okay. The next year, he tried to make his way into infamy, and he started 0-13, and they won 2 of their last 3 games to finish 2-14.
Okay.
Now, his 9-23 record, that's not important. Not important. What's important is that they finished 2-14. Okay. Then Robert Salah came in, and he brought this team from 2-14, I think, to 4-13 or 4-12, whatever they were in his first year with the New York Jets, with a shitty team. All right. And everybody was saying, look, they're heading in the right direction. They're doing the right thing. They're getting good. They're better. They're better than they were last year. They were competitive. All of this stuff that everybody says, and if you remember right, I wasn't sold. Mm-hmm. Then the next year they go 7-10 and then 7-10. But if you think about it, Salah has never had a quarterback, a good quarterback. Okay. And then I got that list too. So I'd like to go to that list. And
look at you. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Now, you tell me where the problem lies. Under Salah, the Jets started 6 quarterbacks. Zach Wilson, 33 games. He's now the 3rd-string quarterback in Denver, behind a rookie, and I don't even know who the other guy is that they have, but he couldn't beat out a rookie. Mike White, who's not even in the league anymore, played 7 games, but was actually an upgrade over Zach Wilson. Rodgers, who's listed as playing 6 games with the Jets. That includes the 4 plays he played last year before he got wiped out in the first game. Joe Flacco, 5 games. Trevor Siemian, 3 games. And Tim Boyle, 2 games. Now, I don't even know if Tim Boyle's in the league now.
Tim Boyle was the backup quarterback for Miami. Just got hurt.
Okay. And then Trevor Siemian, who I don't know, but he definitely was not kept around by the Jets, as we know. So where is, excluding Rodgers, because everybody says he's a future Hall of Fame quarterback and everything else, who's 40 years old and hasn't played in 2 years, and definitely shows that he hasn't played in 2 years at this point in time. Where is the franchise quarterback? Who was the quarterback for any coach. Never mind Salah.
Mhm.
Could have been Belichick. It could have been Chuck Noll. Could have been anybody.
Okay.
Okay? Who's going to build on that murderous row of quarterbacks?
Okay.
And if you were the one to decide, who are you going to use out of that batch of quarterbacks? Which way are you going to go? Now, I'm not making excuses for some of the mistakes that Salah has made, because that's just cut and dry. The guy made mistakes. He made mistakes. But it's not his job to get the players. That's Joe Douglas's job.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that Joe Douglas is probably walking on thin ice right now as we speak. If he doesn't hear it fucking cracking and bending.
Well, if you're Woody Johnson, are you letting Joe Douglas pick the next coach?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I'm glad you brought up that, because before we can get to that, let's just touch base on this.
Good.
You fire a defensive-minded coach
Go ahead.
and replace him with your fucking defensive coordinator,
Speak the truth, my friend. Speak the truth.
who is only too smart to take the play calling duties away from Hackett. Okay, so now who knows if the pretty princess is going to be in another tower someplace while the game is on, and doesn't want to play, doesn't agree with this, whatever. I mean, I don't know. At this point in time, I think that fucking Aaron Rodgers likes to play football. It's not important if he wins playing football. He just likes to go out there and play football. Maybe he likes playing 17 games in 18 weeks, and then he's done. And then he goes home and he thinks about it for a couple months. Am I going to go back? Am I going to play again next year?
Mhm.
What are my plans for next year? How am I going to string people along this time? We don't know that, okay? But it definitely shows that he likes to go on vacations, and he definitely likes to listen to some Pink Floyd and trip out a little bit, eating fucking peyote up in the fucking the desert, okay?
Mhm.
But, there's a lot of things that are going on here. One, why would you, even as an interim coach, why would you replace a defensive-minded coach? Hold on one second. My cat is fucking with the dog. My dog has got to go in for surgery tomorrow. She has a lump on her leg, so I'm a little concerned about that. They said the lump is okay, but, she's going to be... Hey, hold on. Stop it. You stop. Get out of there. Come on. You lay down. Go ahead. Lay down. You leave her alone. Sorry about that, Tom.
No problem. No problem at all. I watch that Jeff and Tom and Jeff's cat making an appearance.
Yeah, this is Linda the pain in the balls.
Hello, Linda, pain in the balls.
Linda, one eye. But anyway, okay, so thank God they didn't pick Hackett as the replacement.
I agree. Oh, I couldn't agree with you more.
And the phone call that was made in the middle of the night. Okay, so now is the defensive coordinator Team Rodgers too, because he was in on the phone call supposedly.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what I was under the impression that I heard. That's why I said supposedly.
Yeah.
That supposedly Rodgers and he were on the phone. So if you're going to fire a defensive-minded coach to replace him with a fucking defensive-minded coach while talking with your quarterback, does any of that make any kind of sense?
No, none of this made any sense to me. But so I agree with you.
And you finally, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Tom,
go.
Because I've been thinking about this since it happened, because I knew that I was going to be able to talk about this on Thursday. You have the first year that you have a quarterback that might be able to do something, okay? And you fire the coach 5 games into the season when you get him as the first quarterback that he could possibly win with. And like, it just, none of this makes sense at all whatsoever to me.
No, listen, I think the minute I thought they should have fired him last year. If you were going to make this move, it should have been last year.
Why would they fight him last year when you didn't have a quarterback?
Oh, I get it. I get it. He has not. Here's the problem. He didn't come close to doing anything well with whatever talent he did have.
Well, now, he did put together a good defense.
Okay.
What he should have done was hire the best offensive coordinator that he could have found.
Correct. And I don't even think it's his fault. The whole Hackett, Rodgers, I think that's something that came from Woody and Joe Douglas and Salah. I think they all had a hand in saying, all right, let's give Aaron whatever he wants because he's the best quarterback available. We got a chance to win with him, not knowing that he was going to shit the bed this year. So I agree with you. I think he's the fall guy. I think the problem was that I think it all started for me. It started that whole thing with the mini camp and the fact that Salah came out and said it's an unexcused absence, but we knew about it. And I think that irked Rodgers. I think Rodgers went in and said, I don't care if it's mandatory minicamp. I'm going to Egypt. I ain't going to be there. And he expected Salah to go out and say, hey, he's a professional. Doesn't need to be here. He needs to take care of something. We're letting him do it. And he didn't get that. I think that's where it started to go really bad. And it's gotten worse and worse since.
That might have been the start of it going bad. It might have even been bad before that.
Maybe.
People know. But I mean, not for nothing. A trip, knowing when you're going to be coming on, when your mini camp starts and everything else.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Now I remember I thought differently about this.
You did because you argued me at the time.
And I said, and I still feel this way. I don't think him missing mini camp had anything to do with his level of play right now.
Okay.
Because the guy has played in the league for over 20 years. That's big. He played in the league for over 20 years. He's 40-something years old. I think that time has caught up with him.
Oh, of course.
I think that he's not what he once was. I don't think he could capture what he once had. Agreed. And I think that the time is passing him by. Do I still think he's a good quarterback? I think he's a better quarterback than more than 50% of the league.
Okay. I wouldn't argue that.
He's an elite quarterback? Definitely not. Nope. Is he a top 15 quarterback? Right now? No, definitely not. Maybe top 20, but I think by the end of the year, I think he'll be within the top 15. Okay. I would go so far as to say that. I think that he'll get a little bit better as time goes on, but I mean, the offensive line, it's a step above patchwork to me.
No, I couldn't agree with you. They're terrible.
You got one guy that's off, and then I hear, because I actually haven't been able to watch much of it, to tell you the truth.
Uh-huh.
They're having trouble with the rookie that they got last year. He's not as
no, he hasn't played well. None of them have played well. None of them. They haven't run the ball worth of shit in 2 weeks.
He's a first round pick. He was a big addition.
Sure.
He should be playing well. They passed up a couple of the guys to get him.
Yeah.
And then I know the excuse, well, he doesn't play the right side. Well, come on now. The right side, I think, is a little bit easier than the left side, no? When it comes to that.
Yeah, listen, they are not playing well as an offensive line. I said it before, you're counting on an offensive line that wasn't good before to come back and be good with two guys who are injury prone. One's already hurt, and Tyron Smith's not been great. I think he's gotten hit like 40 times already. Like he's just gotten beat up.
Yeah, anytime I watched him, he's getting up and he's limping.
So, I mean, I think that's part of the problem. I think the other problem is he hasn't realized that he needs to change his thinking process as a quarterback because he's now 40 and not the same guy he was. He holds the ball way too long. He tries to be smarter than everybody else, and he's not. They can't run the football right now at all, and he's making bad passes. But here's why Salah got fired. You want to know my thought process? I'm going to give you my quick thought process.
Go ahead, because I'm trying to look something up.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So Salah got fired because Rodgers called, or Woody Johnson called Rodgers on Monday night and said, "What are you thinking? You're there. What's going on? What's the problem?" And Salah and Rodgers gave him 50 reasons why Salah is not a good coach, and it's just there's an abundance of it. There's an abundance of it. And his play call, his clock management is terrible. His handling of the locker room is horrendous. Go back to the Mike White. You had your number one pick, trying to make his way through the NFL. You get a backup quarterback who has a couple of good games, and then your veterans on the team are walking around on team flights and in the locker room with Mike White T-shirts. He should have put that and stuffed that right there and then. His teams are undisciplined. They get.
Well, wait a minute now. Let's back up a little bit. Okay, the Mike White thing. White thing. Okay. Yes, you had the number 2 pick as your starting quarterback. He sucked.
Yeah.
He still sucks.
Absolutely.
He couldn't beat out a rookie in Denver. Okay.
Uh-huh.
He's a third string quarterback in the NFL. Okay. He's gotten beat out by a guy. I don't even remember his name, with Jason Stidham or something like that.
Yeah.
If that's even a guy, and a rookie quarterback. And he finished third. If they could have put him fourth, I'd imagine he would have been fourth amongst the three of them. Okay.
Yep.
When they had Mike White on, you can look back.
Yep.
Mike White was outplaying him. It was like comparing a starter with Flash.
Not a question about that. But you can't have your team walking around with Mike White T-shirts on.
They were showing support. And last year, he wasn't on the team last year, but last year the Jets were playing meaningful games in the beginning of December, still in contention for the final wild card spot.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so if they had made the switch from Zach Wilson to Mike White, who says that team doesn't go to the playoffs in 22?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing any of that, but you can't have the disharmony in the locker room. While I agree with you, Mike White was the better player. I would have, if I were the Jets, I would have just, but they were trying to save face. They drafted a kid number 2, and he's horrendous. They were trying to give him every opportunity, which I disagree with, but you can't have the team openly hate the kid you're trying to make him the quarterback. If you want to tell me he's going to be gone anyway, so wear the Mike White T-shirts, who cares? I got you. But they still had hopes that the hope was that he was going to come in, Rodgers, be the number 1 guy last year. The kid was going to sit behind him for a year, maybe 2, and then regain the spot. I mean, look around the league.
I know. Instead of just turning around, listen, until the day that they said you're gone.
Yeah.
They were holding on hope beyond hope. I don't know what the Woody connection is to him and his family. I don't know if they got fucking nude pictures of Woody. I don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
But all I know is that they were holding on to him. You got rid of fucking Sam Darnold. You gave up a lot to get rid of Sam Darnold. The time came to get rid of Sam Darnold. You just packed him, put him on a bus, and sent him away.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not about whether he's ever going to have a good year or whatever in Denver. I don't think he's ever going to play on the field again unless people start getting hurt, seriously hurt, that he has to go out there.
Yeah.
Because if I was them, I wouldn't want to fucking play him.
Yeah, I don't think they want to play him. I think he's there. And listen, at this point, with all the quarterbacks who found new life, the Sam Darnolds, the Geno Smiths, Baker Mayfield, the guys who've all of a sudden drank from, some fountain of football, a youth. These guys are going out there and playing good ball now. I'm not telling you they're great quarterbacks, but they're at least serviceable football players at this point where, 5 or 6 years ago, those 3 guys were vermin. Nobody wanted Baker Mayfield on a team. Nobody wanted
Baker Mayfield was the number 1 pick in the draft the year he got drafted.
Yes.
There were high hopes for him in Cleveland.
Sure, absolutely.
Sam Darnold was number 2 or 3 in that draft, whatever he was. I don't remember.
Number 3, because Saquon went 2.
Okay, he was number 3. There were high hopes for him also in this league. Okay, then he went from the Jets to Carolina, who needed a quarterback. And by the way, Carolina also gave up on Baker.
Yep.
Then he went to the 49ers. Have quarterback magic.
Yep.
Okay, since Joe Montana was there, they let him walk.
Yep.
So he goes to Minnesota, where he was going to be the backup to this rookie.
Yep.
And he got hurt, and now all of a sudden he's playing lights out. Okay. Yeah. But I firmly believe that Darnold is eventually going to come back down to earth sooner or later.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, but
I don't see it. And Baker Mayfield took his second team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a Super Bowl quarterback. The one thing, and who was the third quarterback you mentioned? I'm sorry.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith. He was a backup for years, and then somehow he made it in Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay? But here's the difference. Okay. Yeah. There were high hopes for Sam Darnold. There were high hopes for Baker Mayfield. The Jets, I'm not saying they had high hopes on Geno Smith, but they were hoping for Geno Smith.
Sure, absolutely. He was a second-round draft pick. He was going to be that guy.
Yeah. With Rex Ryan, who's another defensive specialist and couldn't do nothing with a quarterback. Nobody ever said they had high hopes for Zach Wilson. Nobody said that this is a man that was deserving of the second pick in the draft. He was deserving of everything they gave up. Nobody ever said that about Zach Wilson.
Except
Joe
Douglas and Robert Saleh.
What's that?
Nobody except Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh.
Oh, Robert Salah got the player that Joe Douglas drafted.
Yes.
Probably was told by Woody Johnson, this is who we're taking because we're going to pick second.
Again, listen, you know what? I have never heard Salah, Joe Douglas, or anybody else on the Jets say, hey, when they were making the picks, I said I didn't want him. So
what is he going to say? He just got fired Monday.
I got you. Well, all I'm saying is, to me,
it's quite evident his status with that team was shaky anyway.
No, I agree. I just think Salah got fired because he was a bad coach. He really was. He was not a good football coach. He made a couple of decisions in this week's game. You're losing 10-0. You haven't done anything. It's 3rd and 2. You go for it on the teams of the team. You're in the offensive zone, and you gain 1 yard. Now it's 4th and 1. You're down 10-0. You've done nothing all day. Kick the field goal. Kick 3 points. He goes for it. They called the worst play you could ever call. I mean, they line up in the pistol, which is 5 yards. The quarterback 5 yards deep with the running back 2 or 3 yards behind him, right? So now you're 24 feet from the offensive line.
You basically have to go almost 10 yards to get 1 yard.
Correct. But it was the absolute worst play. It didn't work. It blew up, and they lost the game. Now, did they lose because of that play? No.
Who called that play?
No, again, Hackett called the play. Here's the problem. Salah made the decision to go for it. And you don't, and that's bad football. And he made a few. But did he deserve to get fired after game 5? Absolutely not. To me, if I was the owner and I was going to make, I'm firing a shot across the bow, Hackett should have gotten fired. Hackett should have been fired.
Maybe what he should have done was call him in and say, listen, another performance like that, don't even just go into the locker room at halftime and just keep going.
Maybe you're right. But if Woody was that upset and you need to shake it up, firing your head coach, I think they said it this week. I didn't get a chance to look it up. They said coach has been fired in midseason a few times. It's only worked to the point where the team made the playoffs twice. A couple years ago, Rich Bisciglia did it for the Raiders, and in like 1962. So
it hasn't gone well.
Correct.
But you know what? Listen, once again, it's quite evident that we're entering something that the Jets want no part of.
Right.
Okay. Which means that there'll be a new quarterback next year. There's able to be a completely whole new.
Yeah. Well, think about this, Jeff. So let's say
players are on they're on an audition at this point in time.
Oh yeah. So let's put it this way. The likelihood of Jeff Ulbrich getting the full-time job next year, if you're Woody Johnson, should be very slim, right? You've had enough of bringing in the wonder kids, the up-and-coming guy. He's got to go out and get Mike Vrabel. He'll never get Belichick, but you need a Pete Carroll who's way too old. But he needs an established guy who knows how to build a football team. John Gruden, huh?
He ain't getting that.
But again, that's what he needs. So because
there's a lot of things he needs. What he needs to do is pretend there's only one side of the football, and that's offense.
I'm not disagreeing, but
he needs to stay away from anything defensive.
But you can't go for you can't bring in the next Adam Gase, the next offensive wonder guy who's never built a team. This team they need to build a foundation of something. And right now, but even if they do, let's say that they go bring in the next offensive coordinator from, I don't know, the guy from Detroit. Okay, I think his name is Johnson. I'm running a blank on it. But let's say they bring him in. He's the guy. Is he keeping Nathaniel Hackett next year? So no, he's not. So I
think Hackett is gone, bro.
Right.
If they took the play calling duties away from him,
yes.
I think he's gone. But regardless of who they take and where they get him from,
right.
They're not getting an established. There's no attractiveness about the head coach of that fucking team.
I want to talk about that, Louis. Give me a sec. But so here's the problem. So now Hackett's gone. Let's say the Jets, best case scenario, finish 7-9. 7-10. Yeah,
this year.
Let's say best case scenario. They find a way to win a few games, and they win 7 out of 10. They're obviously bringing a new staff in next year. Is Aaron Rodgers coming back? He's not. There's no way.
I don't see that happening.
Right. I think he don't want to come back. I don't think anybody is going to want to bring him back.
At this point, it shouldn't be up to him. They should not want him back.
I agree with you. So now, Jeff, you're basically starting. You're a Jet team that's rebuilding again. Now, hopefully, with an established coach, and they build it through the draft, but now you're drafting your next quarterback. You're drafting your left tackle.
Listen, you're not drafting a quarterback if you win 7 games. You're going to be way too far into the fucking pack.
All I'm saying is this was supposed to be the year that they went for it. Did we all think they would win a Super Bowl? No. Did I think they had a shot at it? If they got there with their defense, yeah. The problem is the defense hasn't played great. Rodgers has been terrible. They can't run the football. They can't protect him. And he was a bad coach, but he didn't deserve to get fired now. Now, Louis brings up something that I've heard all week from people. It's been everywhere about this. He was wearing a Lebanese flag pin. Listen.
No, it was supposedly a Lebanese flag patch.
Whatever. All I'm saying is,
but I don't know how true that was.
Well, it's been mentioned everywhere. I did not see. To me, who cares? And now, this isn't a guy who's running around saying Hamas is great. I don't. I think the guy is Muslim. He's from Lebanon. I think. That's what I was told. I didn't look it up. Who cares? If that's what he wants to wear, and he's supporting his people, fine. If the Jets were 4-1 or 5-0. He could have danced the Lebanese national anthem in the middle of the game. Nobody would have cared.
There's a reason for that.
Why?
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm trying to see if I can see it. It looks like he was wearing that.
Okay.
Yes, he is Muslim. Yes, I believe he's Lebanese. I'm not 100% sure. Okay. The thing that I heard and I read was that because the NFL goes to London, they encourage the coaches to wear their flags of their nationality.
Okay.
Maybe a bad choice for Salah to be wearing that.
Sure.
That particular game with everything that's going on there.
Not
the best move in the world. Okay?
100%.
Even if you support your people, but you're not supporting the political side of it, but nobody's ever going to believe that.
I couldn't agree with you more.
That's like saying, there's a Middle Eastern guy and he's from Iran, but he's going to wear his Iranian flag or his Go Iran hat, but he only supports the people. He's not supporting anybody bad.
Yep.
Or his uncle's in the Taliban. I'm supporting my uncle. I go Taliban. It's just a bad look.
No, I agree with you, but I don't. If they came back and they were 4-1, he's not getting fired for it. So
I don't think he got fired for that. I don't know. I don't think that Woody was happy with it. I'll say that.
I would agree with that. I don't. Hezbollah. Listen, Louis. I don't think. I agree with you. I think it's a bad move if you're Robert Saleh. I agree with you 300%. I think to Jeff's point, it might have been the final straw, but I think that
it certainly didn't persuade them to keep him. We know that.
No, that's for sure.
We know that.
But again, I think if you're asking me, Saleh said he wanted to demote Hackett. Rodgers and Johnson spoke, and Woody said, "What do you think of him as a coach?" And I think Rodgers said he's a detriment. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't discipline the players. The guys, and I think Rodgers is right to a certain extent. They had 15 penalties, 5 offsides penalties in the last game. It killed them. This week they had about 4 or 5 pass interference penalties. This team, and he said it. Your quarterback who is sitting there telling you there's no discipline on this team, and I think Woody Johnson was completely embarrassed. He's been bragging probably that here he is. He spent all this money on Rodgers, and Saleh's done a terrible job. But I think it should have been Hackett, but Rodgers said no, please don't, or you're not going to, or whatever. And at the end of the day, what's his name said, you're gone. And I think it was a stupid move in the middle of the season, but we are here where we're at. I just say, if you're the Jets, Joe Douglas has got to be dead man walking. You can't possibly let him back next year to pick the next head coach. It just can't be.
No, I totally agree. But let me ask you something, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just say that they clear house. Black Monday comes, everybody's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's gone.
I would agree.
Okay? Yeah. Who are you getting to make the decisions? They even went to an independent outsider to advise them who to take as their coach. Remember they did that a couple years ago?
Sure.
Okay?
Yes.
It didn't work. It didn't work. They've had recommendations from Peyton Manning with Adam Gase. It did not work. Okay, where do you go? Where do you fucking go?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I would say this: you're gonna have to go get a guy who has done it before, and it can't. Listen, I would love to say it's Belichick. Belichick hates the Jets. He'll never go there. I
No.
wouldn't bring him as a coach. To bring him in as president of football operations, it'll never happen.
No.
To me, it's got to be a guy like Mike Vrabel as a coach, as a GM. I don't know. I don't know who the. I never really heard of Joe Shane until the Giants hired him. So I don't know, but they need to build a foundation, and he's got to do it the right way. You can't bring in a GM with the coach already there. You can't bring in a coach with the GM already there. The GM's got to bring his people in, and you got to build this thing from the bottom up with a quarterback who wants to be here. And you're right. I would want nothing to do with Rodgers after this season. It's already shown he can't get along, get chemistry with his best player.
This is what I saw the replay, what we all did. I think I watched it in the game live. I can't remember for sure. The look on Rodgers' face said it all. When Salah went over to him to hug him, and then he came up with all these excuses.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't in a hugging mood. We weren't winning. We didn't win. We had a good series of downs or whatever it is that he said.
Yep.
He tried to play it off. It's that look said, I do not like you, man. I do not dig you. That's just say it. Just be a man 100%. And stand by it. I do not like you.
100%.
Okay.
100%. I think you're 100%.
Nobody's asking you to be brothers with this guy. But you know what? If you're on the same team, do what you can to have a game day relationship. Mm-hmm. You can even go back and say, listen, we have differences of opinions. He's the head coach. I'm the quarterback. But come game day, we have a common factor, which is we want to win. Okay? We work together. That's it. Nobody's saying that you got to go exchange Christmas cards and be friends and have birthday cake together. Nobody's saying that. Mm-hmm. Okay? But Robert Salah was your boss at that point in time. If you're not respecting him, you might as well knock him off the stool while he's got the rope around his neck.
Yeah, no, listen, I this is a tough move by Woody, and I think what he's signaling, again, short of a miracle run here, Jeff Ulbrich does an amazing job. But even if he does, there's no way Hackett's coming back next year. Hackett's dead man walking no matter what.
You gotta get rid of him, dude. You gotta fucking get rid of him, man.
I agree with you. So and so now they got obviously they play Buffalo on Monday night. They play Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Then the following week is New England, and then Houston. Again, another primetime game.
Let's put it this way: without even going any further, they have some fucking problems.
Yeah,
they got some fucking problems.
Yeah. So this is not going to end well. And again, I think at this point, you're looking at next year with a new quarterback, obviously a new coach, new GM, and you're starting from scratch. So if you're a Jet fan, what are you thinking? 3 years from now, you're rebuilding the offensive line again. And then where are you at now? Quinton Williams is 2 or 3 years is 2 or 3 years older. You got to pay Sauce now. You got to pay Garrett Wilson. At some point, this team gets blown up if they don't turn it around this year. If you turn it around this year and you have the miracle finish, great. If short of that, this is not what anybody would have expected when they signed Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago.
No, of course not.
So listen, I never want to see a coach fired during the middle of the season. I don't think it ever works. But the first thing I said, Jeff, was the first thing you said. You can't fire the defensive coach who's a guru with a side of the ball that's playing well, with a team that's playing bad offensively, and then replace him with the defensive coordinator. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Now, they couldn't make Hackett the head coach. That would have just been complete insanity. So the problem is they have nobody in-house who's that offensive genius that they could put in the head coaching spot.
We know that. That we know. We all know that. Yeah. Okay. But let me ask you this. Okay. You take in Ulbrich, okay? Yep. And he does all right. There is no offensive coordinator. There's nobody good that Aaron Rodgers is going to play nice with and everything else.
Sure.
But if this team was losing
Yep.
But and I'm not even going to say about playing disciplined and everything else. I'm not going to say it because I'll just say, for sake of what I'm about to say, they were playing hard.
Okay.
And they were on the edge. They weren't dirty, but they were playing hard. Okay. But they were losing 14-10, but they lost in the final minutes. They lost 10-7. They lost 14-12.
Yeah.
Something like a last-minute loss, or, you were winning for more than 40 minutes of the game, and then something happened. This team somehow, some way came back. Weather conditions, your guy fumbled the ball, or as he's running, whatever the case is, you were in all 5 games.
Right.
Never once did I see the Jets this year, the little that I was able to watch, do anything substantial on the offensive side of the ball. Never once did I say, they got something going. This isn't a team that was scoring 35 points here and there offensively.
Right.
And your defense wasn't winning games for you anyway.
Yeah. No, listen, it's an ugly situation. One I never thought they would be in at this point. I always had some trepidation that Rodgers was going to be 3/4 of what he was 2 years ago. Being 40 years old, we all said that at some point the clock was going to go off and age was going to catch up to him. Tom Brady is or was the freak of nature. But most guys, when they hit that 40 mark, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Eli, Ben, they all hit that 40 mark and went, okay, I can't do this anymore like the way I used to. And it happened to Rodgers. He just got old real quick. And I also don't think that he relates to his teammates. And listen, bringing Lazard in, he's been horrendous. He drops more balls than you fumbling in the middle of the night. The offensive line has been terrible. It's just a bad mix on the offense and bad play calling. So let's see what the new play caller, new coach, maybe they find a little momentum and they go out and beat a questionably good Buffalo team on Monday night. And, the season turns around. We'll see. But, I don't think Rodgers, I'll finish it. Rodgers didn't call him up or talk to him and say, you got to fire Saleh, but I don't think he went in there to save his job.
Well, he definitely didn't go in there to save his job.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I think if he went in there to save his job, Saleh would have been
absolutely right. Yes.
Because he would listen to Woody. I think that he feels as though he has the greatest quarterback that he could possibly get right now at this point in time. Yeah. But then again, comparing anybody to fucking Zach Wilson is going to be the greatest quarterback that you could get right now at this time.
Well,
it's bad. It's bad.
If we thought we were trying to figure out what to talk about the rest of the year, I think we got it.
Do me a favor. I got something for you to think about. I got to run in the other room real quick. I got to take care of something real quick. I was going to make an announcement 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I want you to think what this announcement's going to be. I'm going to announce that announcement when I come back.
All right. We'll see what Jeff's got to say. What could he be? It can't be a new band. He's already in 3. So I don't know. We'll have to see what he got to say. But hang in there. We got a lot to. We still got another 45 minutes or 40 minutes. And then we'll wrap this up. Again, I don't have the Yankee game on. Let me get the Yankee game on. Let's see. Holy cow. That might be the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay, I got the Yankee game on. That might have been the most vile thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'll have to tell Jeff when he comes back, but glad his computer's working up. So let me tell you, the Yankees are on. Let's see, what do we got? Yanks are up 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning, so they got a run and they scratched around and run in the first. Hopefully Judge had something to do with it. We'll see. Cole on the mound. Yankees need a win tonight, put this to bed, and get ready for the winner of the Cleveland Detroit series. We'll get to the Giants. Big win Sunday on the road in Seattle. And, there's a big difference. And this is the difference between the Jets team and the Giants team, and the coaching is simple. Being prepared. The Giants, just look at the way they won that game. They had a game plan about blocking a kick, They worked on a play and executed it to perfection to not only keep the Seattle from tying it up, but for the Giants to actually go ahead and win and put the game away. So we'll talk about the Giants in a minute. But by the way, I just wanted to. It got real quiet here for a second. I was looking for the Giant game, and your bodily functions made it completely onto the air. Just for the record.
That's fine, man. That's fine.
Just to let you know, that might have been the most vile thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's fine because it was better than it happening while I'm sitting here.
Very true. All right, so Jeff, before we talk about the Giants and whatever else is on my call sheet here, go ahead. Give us make your announcement.
All right, I've decided. I mean, nobody else is going to give a fuck about this. Maybe you might. I don't know.
I always care.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. But here we go. I've decided that next year, or whenever they happen to come, when Iron Maiden comes around,
okay,
I will be going to any concert in this area.
Wow, look at
Hopefully
you.
with you. And
I'm in.
And I also want to look into the meet and greet at that point in time.
I don't know if Maine does meet and greets.
We got to find out because just like them, who may be coming around for the last time, this may end up being our last concert due to prices and
that's true, all true,
age and everything else and locations. So I myself am willing to go the extra yard.
Wow, look at you.
And do this and go out in a blaze of glory.
Wow. All right. So listen, you have a partner when Maiden comes. If you want to do one or a series of concerts in the air, you usually don't do more than 2 or 3, but I will be happy to join you on your excursion and do the Maiden concert series or series concert with you and meet and greet. No problem. I'm in.
All right, good.
Now, they also announced today Netflix is coming out with an Iron Maiden documentary called Run to the Hills, I believe.
It turns out that was fake.
Get out of here.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm reading. That's what I'm seeing.
I had about 3 or 4 different people send that to me.
Yeah, supposedly it's fake.
I thought it was odd because it didn't seem like a band that would make its way onto a Netflix documentary. Like what was usually they want something controversial or they're not considered a big pop band. So I was a little surprised.
Who's going to be interested in who's going to care?
Yeah, that was kind of like where I was headed with it. So I'm sorry to hear that. I was kind of looking forward to that.
I mean, unless the people that are saying that had wrong information, but supposedly it was a hoax and it's not true.
All right, hold on. Now,
are you going to look it up?
I'm looking it up. Netflix, Iron Maiden documentary. Sorry, I'm typing one finger on one hand. It's in here. It says 2 days ago, new Iron Maiden documentary coming to Netflix in early 2025.
Yeah, I see that. I'm looking Iron Maiden documentary on Netflix, real or fake news. That was October 10th today.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah, I see that one. Metal Addicts.
Rumors of a new Iron Maiden documentary titled Run to the Hills, the story of Iron Maiden being released on Netflix, have been making waves online, thrilling fans of legendary British heavy metal band. Despite the excitement, doubts are growing about the authenticity of the story. It appears that this could be yet another viral misinformation. While the news has been picked up by reputable outlets, origins or dubious website raise significant red flags.
Okay, yeah, because it's all over the place. Nuclear Blast, Share Base, Metal Anarchy, and then Metal Addicts has the Iron Maiden documentary on Netflix, real or fake news. So we'll have to see. Maybe it'll be an announcement somewhere along the line. But either way, they are coming on tour next year. I would say it's probably, I think they have early part of the year till July or August in Europe. Then they'll probably take a break and probably come back either right before or right after the holidays. So at some point, they will make their way to the U.S. And now it looks like Jeff made the big announcement. He's coming out of retirement for concerts. And him and I, at the very least, the two of us, will be attending an Iron Maiden concert in the near future.
Yeah, I think as though that.
Wow, look at you.
I'd be not doing the right thing for myself.
I would totally agree with that. And yes, I've never checked to see if they do a meet and greet. I've never seen it advertised, but I will definitely be on the lookout for all of that now. So I will definitely keep us in the loop, and we'll go. Well, hopefully there is an Iron Maiden documentary coming. I've seen some Iron Maiden documentaries, but most of them are unauthorized. They're done without the band. They're usually low budget stuff. I've seen a few. Hopefully this will be a real one on Netflix, and it'll be toward their 50th anniversary tour next year. Hopefully the whole bit.
Well, I'm hoping that it's real. Well, maybe not the documentary. I'm just hoping that they're around, that they play.
Yep.
shows.
No, I would say that'll be a definite next year. They've already announced the European leg, and I can't imagine they don't come to the U.S. So I'm happy, because I told my wife, I said, I don't know anybody else. Maybe Catalano's going to go. I said, but of my inner crew, maybe Paul, I could talk him into going. She said, well, if nobody goes, I'll go with you. But if you're willing to go, then we'll do a guys' night and go see Iron Maiden, hopefully at the Garden or someplace historic. But either way, if it's at the PNC or if it's at the Prudential Center, either way, I'm all in.
The place that I would not make my way to would be Jones Beach.
I agree.
It's just fucking too out of the way.
Yeah, no, I agree, but they don't usually do the outdoor venue too often. They're more to the interior guys, so hopefully it'll be at the Garden or. To be honest, I love the Prudential Center. It's easy to get to, and it's a great sound.
Well, the reason why I thought about it too was I wanted to, I changed my mind, is because when you think about the possibility of some of these songs never being played again.
Oh, yeah.
And depending on what it is. And I mean, I hope that if we go, they don't turn around and say that they're going to play Gangland fucking 19 times. And, something like Children of the Damned Ones, like that would suck.
Yeah.
But I feel as though that we gotta be there.
All right, listen, you just you made my night, so yeah, very cool. I'm interested, and we will put that on the calendar for next year, and we'll as soon as it's announced, I might even re-up my Iron Maiden fan club just to get online first for tickets. So let me have to think about that now. So we'll have to see. In the meantime, we got about a half hour left. And by the way, since you've been on, you've been clear and your computer's working fine. So
yeah, thank God. I don't know. You know what happened before? I was on the computer earlier. I very rarely use this computer for anything other than this show. Okay, so because it doesn't have virus protection, so I go on YouTube. But I mean, other than that, I got tablets to use and shit.
Sure.
So I don't really use this computer for other than the show. And I went on YouTube earlier, and I just shut the computer and walked away. I didn't shut it down.
Got it.
So then it was running really slow, and then I restarted it once, then shut it off and started. That's why it was taking me forever to get restarted. And then even when this time it was a little sketchy, but it seems as though that everything's good. So thank God.
Yep. Let's talk a little Giant football while we're still on the air, and a big win for the Giants on the road. Listen. We can talk about whether we think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback or the Giants are a real team. The one thing I came out of there with is Brian Daboll can coach. The team is prepared. They've done a nice job fixing the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line is so good nobody talks about it. That's the best part. Great way to seal the game and win the game with the blocked extra point. It was explained how they worked on it. Good job. Brian Daboll can coach. Now, does he have the best players? I don't know yet, but I saw some good stuff out of Tyrone Tracy. Ran for 100-something yards. And by the way, a great pickup by the Hard Rock and Sports team helped me to my first W of the year.
Who did you pick up?
Tyrone Tracy, Giant running back.
Oh, okay. Because
Singletary was out.
You and your team and that other fucking guy that's not hiding someplace or whatever it is he's doing have been laughable this year.
Oh, yeah. The Catalano. Oh, absolutely.
Laughable. I feel as though that I took the talent with me. I took the vision with me.
You did? Okay. If that's what you think.
it now resides over at the Blackest Sabbath.
Well,
3 wins in a row.
3 wins in a row, and you scored 186 points this week. You were fantastic. And
Dude, that wasn't me. that was huge. That was like the moon was in the 7th house, everything lined up.
Right.
You know?
Listen, you gotta
It's
take credit
unbelievable.
take credit when you can. I am no longer in the bottom. I am no longer scraping bottom. That I will leave that to Frankie Catalano.
Yeah, I as many points as I scored, still did not outscore. Frankie was the one with the biggest point differential.
Yes. Yeah. So I get Frank Jeffrey this week, hoping to go for my second win of the year. And we'll see. I got lucky. What's his name? Joe Burrow had 55 points this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was hot.
Oh my God. He could.
Chase was fucking equally on fire.
Yes, you had 40 points from Chase. So looking forward to this weekend already. I got the team all set up, and we'll see.
What happened this year with this league? Are there 2 extra teams this year?
No, we have same amount of teams. Everybody's back from last year except you took over for Neil Flipowitz's team.
Yeah, because I don't understand. I look through the players every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know why these guys. Well, yeah, but Frank, injuries, yeah, but there's no players. We're in week 5. There's nobody hanging around. You're like, oh shit, I got this guy. I might have gotten a sleeper pick. I took the tight end from Green Bay.
Okay.
He had 2 decent games in a row, but I don't know. You know,
it's one of those things where you're going to have to scour the games each week, find a guy who may slip through. There's somebody got hurt and he's going to play. I did it this week. I picked up Perrine, the backup running back from Kansas City, because everybody was hurt. I should have took Kareem Hunt, but I didn't.
Kareem Hunt got snatched up as soon as they announced his name. He got snatched up.
So I took Hunt. I took Perrine and he got just enough points, but I got lucky. My kicker had a good night. But it was, again, it's one of those things where you're going to have to find a body here, a body there, and hope that some of the other teams get some players hurt, and you steal a win here and you steal a win there. I mean, but you're right. I went searching for offensive players, and I was like, holy cow, this is like the boss.
Yeah,
at this point,
I could tell you some of my plans because they're just going to be releases, maybe. But like Tua, I don't know. Do I carry Tua? Right now he's on the IR. I don't know what I do with Tua. Okay. Because even if he comes back, who knows if I'm ever going to play him? The guy's got a fucking mind made of oatmeal at this point in time.
Yeah, and it's killing me because I got Waddle, and I'm getting no points from Waddle. I'm getting 6 points a week from Waddle. I'm getting nothing.
If you're lucky.
So and I got Devontae Adams. He's probably on the I don't want to play till they trade me from the Raiders thing. So I'm stuck with him.
I got 2 defenses. I'm actually sitting the Jets defense this week because they're playing Buffalo.
Okay, it's smart.
And I'm praying that Josh Allen shreds them apart. But I mean, like once their bye week happens, I got to get rid of Houston.
Yeah.
But what's the sense of getting rid of Houston if I can't get somebody? You know what I mean? Like I just don't know.
I get it. It's a tough year. It's a 12 teams is tough. A couple of guys have said, can we take it down to 10 teams? But I kind of look at it as like everybody wanted to come back, and I didn't want to say no. So
who's the odd man out?
What do you mean?
Just what I mean. If you say that you're going to go with 10 teams, who are you cutting? Who's trimming?
That's just it. I don't know. I mean, I have a couple of candidates. I don't want to say it over the air, but there are a couple of people that I could, So to me, it's more if a couple of guys, if one guy bailed or 2 guys bailed, I would not try to replace them.
If the natural selection happens, that's one thing.
Exactly. But to me, if everybody said they want to come back, to me, it makes it more challenging. You have to kind of do your homework. I went out this week and I picked up like the 3rd or 4th string wide receiver on the Cowboys. They got a couple of injuries, and people talking about him snatching a few plays. I said, I'm going to put him in there and I'll pick him up and see what happens. You got to kind of got to go looking deep into the rosters and find the Isaiah Hodgins
guys that do that week after week. I see who they are.
Oh yeah.
They're the 2 buddies in the group chat. They fucking do that all the time. But to me, you know what else that means? I'm not saying that it's them. I'm saying that to me, it reminds me that it's like a panic move.
Of course.
Like, oh my God, I got to dump this guy to get this guy. Like I just dumped Jerry Jeudy, but what the fuck was he doing anyway?
Yeah, no, I got it. I've been hanging out to Calvin Ridley. He hasn't done anything since week 1. So
Yeah, I mean, I have Alan Lazard because he
Mhm.
had a couple good games with what's his face,
With Rodgers,
with Rogers, and then then they don't throw him the ball, and the usual shit.
he drops half of them. So no, I'm with you. It's a tough year. 12 teams is tough, but we'll muddle through and see how it plays out. In the meantime, again, a good win for the Giants on the road. And at some point, we're going to say, all right, Daniel Jones is a decent quarterback. He's played really, really well the last 5 weeks. He's in the top 10 in passing. The kid can play. Can he win a Super Bowl? Is he top 5, top 10, top 15? Not going to make those assertions. All I'm saying is he is not the reason why they're losing football games right now. And I, to be honest with you, he's the good thing about the Giants and Daniel Jones is they're getting better each week, and that's why Brian Daboll's a good coach. Brian Daboll will be the Giant coach for a few years, and they will turn this around, and they will be successful. Win a Super Bowl, I don't know. But it is going to be a really interesting offseason for the Giants, Jeff, if they're going to try to draft a quarterback or, if Jones finishes the way he's going right now, what do the Giants do next year? Do they try to bring in another quarterback? Do they ride Jones out for his next 2 years? It's going to be a very interesting offseason in Giant land. Hey, I don't care, Frankie Catalano. He played well.
I was waiting for you to see that.
I saw it. I don't care. He's played really well. You guys can tell me anything you want. Go pick it apart. The kid's not throwing interceptions. He's not fumbling the ball. He's running the ball well. He's tough as nails, and he's completing passes. They're scoring points. He is the reason why they're winning games, and he is a solid quarterback. Not a great one yet. He's solid. That's my opinion.
I just think that they've spent too much time on him, and he's in the league for too many years for him all of a sudden to turn great. That's how that's how it sounds like. Bo guy has 5 career games.
Yeah, don't sound like Bo. Sound like Bo 5 games. The guy. First 3 games, I don't think he completed 6 passes for 12 yards. Come on, don't compare him to Bo Nix, please. I think Bo Nix is older than Daniel Jones at this point. Jesus Christ! But it's an interesting NFL season.
Is it true that Bo Nix sold Daniel Jones his prom suit?
Yeah, I think so. I want to go around the league a little bit here. I want to get the standings up a little bit because it is odd. Let's see, where are the standings? There they are. So this week, the Cardinals go out and beat the 49ers. I mean, the 49ers, who would have thought at this point the 49ers would be third at 2-3, the Rams at 1-4. I mean, these are teams that just were talked about winning the Super Bowl this year, going to the Super Bowl. You got Seattle in first place, even coming off the Giant loss. Arizona's at 2-3. Obviously Minnesota at 5-0.
Let's stick with the NFC West real quick for a moment, right? Because you brought them up, and I got to say, I agree with you. The biggest surprises, and only one surprise for me because I wasn't sold on the Rams, is that the 49ers are playing the way they're playing, but they also have injuries.
Yeah,
Christian McCaffrey hasn't touched the ball yet. Another maybe half a year that you're not going to see him, but if he comes back and he's full strength, he'll be coming back at the right time, and who knows what he's going to be capable of doing.
Yeah. Again, but you get to the point that is it too late? But the biggest surprise in the NFC is frankly the Washington Redskins at 4-1.
Yeah.
I mean, not only are they winning, but they are playing good football. I mean, offensively, they are hiding there. It's called like the Kamala offense. You kind of don't expose them to too much. You don't make them do too much. You let them get in and get out. It's the Kamala Harris offense. But the kid's played well. He's made some good throws, and they're 4-1. And are any of the other teams, Dallas, Philly, or the Giants, any better? They're not. I don't think you can take your pick out of the rest of them.
Well, Dallas is just one game out. I think the only team that I could say is definitely deserving of their record this year is Carolina at 1-4.
Yeah.
And the Los Angeles Rams, I was never sold on them, but
Oh, you're right.
a lot of people were.
No, you're.
They're 1-4 also.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, I never bought into them, and to me, they haven't even tried since they won the Super Bowl. It's almost like they sold their soul for that Super Bowl, and they just said, "Screw it." I mean, we're just going to hang out and chase supermodels and not care but people had them picked to go to Super Bowl this year, and obviously, it hasn't manifested itself. New Orleans, they're starting their rookie quarterback this week. I think Carr's hurt. Tampa.
The first three teams in that division, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and New Orleans, one game separates all three of them, with Tampa Bay and Atlanta being 3-2.
Yeah,
it's going to be another division where anywhere from 7-9 to 9-7 is going to win that division. You watch.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then in the NFC North, obviously Minnesota's at 5-0, but I think they're starting to come back to earth a little bit. They could have easily have lost that Jet game. As bad as the Jets played, Rodgers has an opportunity to win that game and throws the interception. But until they're beaten, they're still probably the best team in football. Detroit, with the week off, they're all coming off their bye, 3-1, and I still think Detroit's going to win that division and be the representative for the NFC in the Super Bowl. So we'll see. I'm going to get to see them play. I'm going to see Detroit and Dallas play this week in Dallas. So I am.
You're going to Dallas?
I am going to Dallas tomorrow morning, as a matter of fact.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
It's a work trip. But again, let's go to the AFC. Buffalo, surprising. Can we say Buffalo surprising that they're atop? Because I don't think any of us, I know I didn't. I did not expect them to be leading the division at this point.
Well, you know what? They put up 142 points. The next closest to the Jets at 93. Their defense isn't what it once was, but they're 3-2, and they're only in first place by a game. As bad as the Jets are, they're only a game out of first place. That's another reason it's a head scratcher why Salah got canned too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, if the Jets win, here's how crazy this is. If the Jets win Monday night, they're in first place.
Yeah. But I mean, Miami is out due to injuries, and New England, new coach, new quarterback that they haven't really committed to yet.
Well, I did hear that they're starting Drake May this week. So
okay.
Drake May will be starting. So I think the Drake May era is going to start. I mean, Brissett's been terrible. I mean, there's no. Look at, they scored 62 points for the year. I mean, think about it. Five games, you're scoring 10. You scored 11, 12 points a game. I mean, that's just.
Look at Miami, 60 points.
Yeah.
Over the 5 games. But
yeah, so
in the AFC, the biggest surprise for me is that AFC North.
Yeah, I agree.
The 2 teams are 1-4, 2 are 3-2, but there's no established team in that division right now.
Cincinnati's the biggest surprise in there. At 1-4, and they come in this week. They play the Giants on Sunday Night Football, which the Giants have never been a good. Yeah, it's been a long time since the Giants were a good primetime team. But this Cincinnati team at 1-4 shocks the crap. I mean, I had them going to Super Bowl. At this point, they're not even making the playoffs, let alone going to Super Bowl.
Not right now. No, they better start winning and starting to win big.
And at some point, I mean, Cleveland is horrendous, and Deshaun Watson is just bad. I would say at this point, it might be the worst contract in all of sports history. It just might be.
If I'm the owners of Cleveland, I contact Father Bob.
Yeah.
And I throw whatever musical equipment he wants if he stands and watches Deshaun Watson 24/7 until this contract is over.
He is just a bad quarterback in a bad situation, and 1-4, they couldn't be any worse. Pittsburgh surprising to me, although Tomlin, it's funny. People say he may be the best coach in football, and it's hard to argue. But the guy is just mediocre.
I know somebody that'll argue that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I hope he's not listening, because we'll get an earful.
Till the fucking sun rises in the west and sets in the east.
Yes.
Or the other way around, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. But the fact that they're 3-2 with Justin Fields, I hear Russell Wilson is finally making an appearance this week. He's a full participant in practice. If you're Pittsburgh, and he's fully healthy, I think you got to dangle him out there to Miami. Maybe I mean, who else would you?
If I was Miami, I would fucking start telling the league 2 is fine
Yeah.
before I go for fucking Russell Wilson.
I mean, the Raiders now this week, they've finally given up on Gardner Minshew. They're going to go to Aiden O'Connell. I mean,
I'm
again,
making a prediction on that.
go ahead.
McConnell's going to play a week or 2. He's going to get hurt. Minshew's going to have to go back in there, and he's going to end up playing lights out like he does every other year as a backup.
That's true.
And he'll throw for like 3,700 yards altogether. Like, 18 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And, they'll fall short of a playoff spot, but it won't be because he didn't play good.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's if you're Pittsburgh, I would try to trade one of those quarterbacks. I don't know which one you keep. I'm not a fan of either one.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Which one do you keep?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the problem.
Well, I would say this. I think Wilson is obviously he's the older of the two. I think he's got less juice left. But the problem is, if you're Miami, you may want to think about taking one shot of throwing him in there for the rest of this year, because you can't go back to Tua. You just can't after all of this. You're going to draft a quarterback next year.
Do you want Tua to retire?
I think if you're Miami, you have to put. See, the problem is he's going to want to play again. So it's either trade him, cut him, or let him play.
Why do you want that responsibility?
Yeah, I don't know.
The doctors that are going to see him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't understand. This is going to be somebody who's like just begging to show everybody he's going to have CTE when he's done playing.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have it now,
he'll be living under a bridge in about 10 years. He'll be living under a bridge in 10 years. Just not him. Nobody.
Catching small rodents for dinner.
Yeah, it's just pathetic. But yeah, he's his own worst enemy. And I think at this point, it's one thing you get concussions and people get them, but hit the severity of his concussions at this point. I mean, he's out, 4 weeks now? He's got to be a month.
But supposedly he's been symptom-free for the last 2 weeks. I guess it's because they put him on the IR that he has to do the 4 weeks.
Yeah. But
before he could come back. Now, whatever happens after that, like if I was the Miami doctors, I'm telling them, like, listen, we can't let you play. We don't want to worry about your future. If you want to play, we'll let you go, or whatever it is. But we can't. We don't want to do that to you as a human being.
Yeah. I watched that play live that he got hurt on, and it was completely his fault. He could have slid. He would never got hurt. He would be up. He'd be playing today. And he went in face first, and he didn't even get hit. He did the hitting. To me, the guy's eggs are scrambled, and it's time to.
You watch him. Most of the last couple times he got hurt.
Yep.
He was out before his head was clear of all contact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like as soon as he hits, that's it.
Yep. No, I couldn't agree with you more. That's going to be interesting. But if you're Pittsburgh, I think you got to consider trading one of those guys as a chip. The question is, which guy do you trade? And if you're Miami, I think, it was an ugly win this week. That they I don't even know what the score was, 16-12, whatever it was.
So you know what it is with Pittsburgh? Neither one of those quarterbacks, to me, fit the Pittsburgh Steeler mold. Okay?
Yeah.
They're both small, slight quarterbacks. They're not Big Ben. They're not Terry Bradshaw. They're not some of the other names they had over the years there that were bigger guys. I mean, Roethlisberger might have been the biggest out of all of them. You know what I mean? But they just don't look like tough men.
Mm-hmm.
It just if it was me, I would trade Russell Wilson. I would keep Zach.
I would agree with you.
I would keep Wilson, whatever.
Yeah, Justin, you're going to keep Fields and you're going to trade Russell Wilson. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you. If I was going to make that trade, I would do the same thing. So interesting.
Model after Lamar.
Yeah, I think that's what they do. But if you go through these divisions, it's all 3-2, 2-3s. There's a bunch of 1-4s. there's only a couple teams at 5-0, 4-1. There's just two teams that really, you can, Kansas City, Houston, and Minnesota.
Kansas
Everybody-
City at 5-0 may be the quietest 5-0 team that I've seen in a while. Too
Yeah,
many questions about them, and
I-
they keep winning.
I agree. I thought the same thing last year, and they won the Super Bowl. So I don't know. Is he that good, Mahomes? I don't know. Like, I watch him, and you go, he shouldn't be this good, but the guy makes play after play after play to every receiver who's out there. Don't matter who's out there. They make a catch to win a game.
In your eyes, right now, who are the three best quarterbacks in the NFL?
Mahomes, Josh Allen. Boy, number 3 is the tough one.
Yeah, yes, it is. But you got my first two, by the way.
Yeah, I'm. Stroud.
Nobody you believe in.
Yeah, I mean, I would. You want to know what my number 3 would be? Jared Goff. I would take Jared Goff before I take any of the rest of them. He's played really well.
Jared Goff. Listen, I hear you. Jared Goff is a Super Bowl winner. A lot of people gave up on him way too soon. That's why he got shipped to Detroit. That's why I think it's great that he's taking the Lions to where they are right now.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, definitely not Sam Darnold. Joe Burrow, if he ever gets his act together.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's
injury prone.
Yeah, again, but Joe Burrow's in that mix right now. I mean, Joe Burrow's a good quarterback. You're right. If he stays healthy, Joe Burrow's as good as anybody. But right now, on health, on quality of play, I would put Jared Goff up there. I would put Joe Burrow in there. After that, it's Stroud maybe, Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I mean, people like Jordan Love. I haven't fallen in love with Jordan Love yet.
I think someone is asking a question.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm not even paying attention to him. Who's better? Are you saying Russell Wilson's better than Daniel Jones? I can't even take you serious anymore. You still think Bo Nix was a good draft pick? I can't take you serious, Frank. Sorry.
Well, you saw how Bo Nix handled the Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
That's true. He did.
That was a one-in-a-lifetime victory there.
That was about as long as he got. By the way, good win by the Rangers opening the season last night. 6-0 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Season for them is open.
Yeah, I was thinking that this morning. I was getting ready for work, and I was like, it seems like yesterday the season ends, because the season ends in basically in June, and it's October, and you already started again. I mean, football ends in February. You don't start till September. Yeah. I mean, it's 2-3 months, and we're watching hockey again. Now, I actually got into a fantasy hockey league. Frank Jeffrey needed a team, and I jumped in real quick. I'm still trying to navigate my way through how it all works, but so I'm probably watching a little more hockey than I normally am. But the Rangers look good. I don't like the situation with Shesterkin. They offered him 8 years, $88 million, $11 million a year, and he turned it down. But he is a rock and a great goalie, and you got to find a way to get Shesterkin signed up long term if you're the Rangers. But hockey's kicking off, and basketball's a couple weeks away. We got big football games this week. Jets and Buffalo Bills. The Giants.
They're gonna get fucking raped.
Oh my god! And the Giants. I can't even look at Frankie anymore. And the Giants Sunday night.
I think I'm going out on a limb here. Actually, I'm not going out on a limb. I'm calling it out. I'm calling it as I see it. Frank Catalano's entire apartment. I'm assuming you live in an apartment, not a house, Frank. Maybe it's an apartment in a house, but I'm assuming that you're not a homeowner, that you're an apartment renter. No offense. That's how I see it. I see your entire house with pictures of Daniel Jones taped up all over the place, as well as Jet leaders. Okay. So I feel as though that you try to hide your feelings.
That's true.
For these men.
That's true.
You have them all over your house, the ceiling, the floor, everything. And that you just use them as you own a condo? Good for you, man. I'm sure the Homeowners Association hates you for putting up life-size pictures all over the front of the house of Aaron Rodgers and Jets players and Giants players, especially Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I think he's got a hologram. I think he's got the nighttime, the light show comes on, and it's a Daniel Jones hologram.
Sure. I never said Bo is better than the Giants. I never said that. The guy has 5 games under his belt.
If he said that, I would have to call 911 immediately because I think there's a gas leak in Jeff's house. He didn't realize it. So if he ever said those negative words, Frank,
Why are you doing it? But it's okay for you to say shit and post stuff all the time, and that's okay. That's okay. That's all right that you do it.
Yes, I can do
I
it.
don't hate the Jets. I just can't, and I got to ask questions why they did this. Jets suck.
Absolutely, I'm allowed. I've been
mean?
for 40 years. I can't let Catalano get away with it. I can't let him do it. 5 games this year, he's better than.
Yeah, you know, he got mad because I said I hope the Mets and the Broncos never win another playoff game, and he got mad at me. Why would you say that or something like that? He said, I'll argue with him last
because he's Jeff. That's what he says.
Both better. That's
all right. Well, we're going to see, Frank. So far, we just ain't seen it yet. I think it must be on a different channel. I must be watching different games. I
don't have that cable service in my
yeah,
house.
Yeah, he must be on Prime, and I'm watching Netflix.
Oh,
man. So, guys, to wrap up tonight's show, I gotta get going. I have to do a bunch of packing and get myself together. We'll see what happens this weekend. Jets, Giants, a lot of good football. Got congratulations to the Mets and their fans. We're looking forward to wherever they got to go next week. It should be fun. And
have the Mets won a World Series in October? I know they win a lot in April and May.
Yeah, well, we're gonna find out. Again, I'll say it. If I'm a team, I don't want to play the Mets right now. Now, it could easily die out. You win the way they're winning, that could go away. The ball drops 5 feet short, and instead of a 3-run homer, you just popped out to the right fielder. So, but
listen,
right now,
if they make it over this hump right now, and I'm going to call it a hump because they were playing nonstop and they were clicking, firing on all cylinders without a doubt. If they get over this next couple days off,
yep,
and they come out as hot as they did, I say they go to the World Series.
I got to be honest with you. I think their biggest challenge is coming up next week, whether they face the Dodgers or the Padres. I got to tell you, if I'm the Yankees, I don't want to see the Mets for 5 minutes. I think the Mets have all the momentum in the world. They won 4 games against the Yankees this year. The Mets have no fear of the Yankees. If the Mets get through this next round, you don't want to play them. And but we'll see. Yankees have to get there first.
I would love to see, of course, a New York World Series.
Oh, sure.
Okay, we've only experienced one in our lifetime.
That's true.
So it would be awesome to watch them both go at it in the World Series.
Would you watch? Would you pay more attention if that was?
I would pay a little bit more attention to it. I don't know if I sit there and actually watch the games, but both teams seem like they're relatively young. So hopefully one of them becomes a dynasty. And listen, here's hoping that if they make it each to the World Series, that it happens again next year too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Listen, got to have some fun around here. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be, again, they got to get through a 7-game series. Again, no reason to think that they can't. I'm watching the Yankees on there winning 1-0 in the 4th. They again can't score a lot of runs. Another double play hitting into by the Yankees. So just typical Yankees can't score runs, but we'll see what happens. Pay attention to your voting, folks. November 5th is around the corner, and a lot of ugliness if you're the New York City mayor. Even though he's swearing up and down, he's innocent. 5 different investigations to the mayor. I gotta tell you what I've discovered. I know you guys don't listen to a lot of radio. I've been listening to Joe Piscopo every morning on 970 The Answer, and I've been listening to Curtis Sliwa on 77. Curtis Sliwa might be the single funniest guy in the entire world. He says stuff it make you cry. I'm telling you, I've never been a big fan of Curtis Sliwa, but he says he's not afraid to say anything about anybody in New York politics at all. He just will tell you where all the bodies are buried.
The problem with Curtis Sliwa is he's about 170 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been around for just way too long. And I saw Curtis Sliwa a couple years ago, me and my wife went up to the city around Christmas time, and we stopped at a Starbucks, and there he was. He was coming out as I was going in, and I understand, he's a well-known figure in New York, especially. I don't know whether he's liked or not liked.
No idea either. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay? But he kept his face down. Me and him face to face. I reached for the door. There he was. Yeah, and like you would think at that time of year, he would at least be like, nod at me, or holding the door open for him or whatever. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Curtis Sliwa.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, it's Curtis Sliwa. No big deal. But listen, it is what it is. He's been around for so long. I remember when he started the Guardian Angel.
Oh, I was with kids. Yeah, I remember it. Sure.
Are they still around?
I believe the organization's still around. I don't know if they patrol much anymore, but the organization is around. He mentions it all the time. His last run for mayor wasn't good, but the guy was right. I listened to him, and he said this guy is crooked as the letter J, and he said you're going to be a big mistake, and he might be right. But forget about his politics and all that other stuff. I'm telling you, folks, he says things. I crack up. He just cracks me up with the stuff he says. It's funny. So if you're a fan of radio, do yourself a favor. Click over there for a few minutes a day. Curtis Sliwa or Joe Piscopo from 6 to 10 in the morning. He talks a lot of Staten Island. He seems to.
Piscopo is actually on in the mornings too?
Yeah, 6 to 10, 970 in the morning. Yeah.
970 now?
Yeah, it's station 970 is where you can find Joe Piscopo.
What is that, AM?
AM, yep. Yeah, AM 970.
880 also.
Well, I think 880 is gone now, or they moved to FM.
And it's 77.
77.
Sinatra on Sunday nights.
Yeah, but you can catch Joe Piscopo on 970 on The Answer. I hear him every morning, and I listen to either Sid and Friends, or I bounce around, but I do a lot of driving from around the city now. I'm all up to the Bronx, Yonkers. So I find myself spending about a lot of time in the truck in the morning. So anyway, Piscopo's funny. Talks a lot of Staten Island stuff. He's hooked up a lot of people. So you get a lot of Staten Island references. And like I said, Curtis Sliwa, when he's on, I'm telling you, the guy is hysterical. Take a listen if you're sitting around. He's also on Friday nights, Saturday nights when I can't sleep. I listen to him. Okay, yeah. So Louis feels the same way. But like I said, guys, big Giant game Sunday night. Let's see what the Giants are made of. Big game for the Jets. Let's see if Jeff Ulbrich can right the ship. We got the Yankees on now. Let's hope they can hold on, add some runs, and get on to the ALCS and join the Mets. Again, Rangers are going. Not much in the way of music, folks. I guess the biggest thing I had was the Netflix thing, and now Jeff's announcement that we're going to go see Iron Maiden next year no matter what. So I'm always glad to see that. And in the meantime, like I said, I am looking forward to next week already. We have a lot to talk about. We'll see how Aaron Rodgers and the Jets do. I'm sure that'll be a big part of it. And maybe we'll find out the truth of why Robert Saleh really got fired. So
never going to find that out.
Well, we're going to see. Maybe he'll do a press conference or something at some point. But in the meantime, folks, I thank you all for tuning in and listening to Jeff and I ramble on. We again want to wish everybody in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, all those places recovering from the hurricanes Helene and Milton. We wish you are the best, and we're praying for you. And hopefully the government does the right thing and takes care of the people in North Carolina who have just been devastated. So we really do pray for you guys, and we hope you recover quick. That's all I could say.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But again, guys, November 5th is around the corner. Please do your homework. Do not vote for the empty suit. And you know which one I'm talking about. Do not fall for the Don't fall for the garbage. Do your homework. In the meantime, we're going to end the show right here. So for Jeff and myself, we say have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. Jeff and I will be back next Thursday night all over again. Hopefully Jeff's computer's up and running. He'll shut it down the right way and get on a little quicker next week. But in the meantime, have a great night and a great weekend from Jeff and myself and everybody at Hard Rocket Sports. We say good night, and we'll see you next Thursday. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air.
All right, man. Later.
Catch you later.